Motherfucker killed his dad, start a new regime.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. What else we got? The election. It's a hard pivot, but the election. What do you think? Who do you think's gonna win?
I for sure think. I'm not saying I'm a Trump supporter. I'm not. But that he's about to win.
Trump supporter.
But he's about to win. Like literally, we do not have. Nobody even has like a person that they like really love and they're invested in. They're just trying to find anybody who has potential to get Trump out of office.
Right.
So it's like none of you guys even think like, dang, Biden's gonna change this country. Everybody's thinking like, dang, Biden just has a chance to get Trump out of the office. You know, like I've never like invested enough into politics to know what is actually going on. Like I don't swing Democrat or Republican or anything like that. Like, so I don't really know what Biden brings to the table.
Yeah.
I know that everybody has an issue with how Trump comes off, but I have from we listened to it. You had me listen to the thing with Candace Owens and everything, and she was when she was having her little conversation with
what's the dude's name? Fucking Hawk Newsom.
Yeah,
Hawk Newsom. Yeah,
and how she had brought a huge point up that kind of like brought something to reality to me. It was just the fact that before Trump was ever president, like he was hanging out with Diddy and all these people. Like he was hanging out with all these rappers, and then the second he becomes president, because he was trying to, you know, put all these blocks up from immigrants coming in, whether they're Arabic or Mexican, whatever. Everyone just immediately tagged him as racist.
Yeah,
and it wasn't like he had a problem with Mexicans and black people and Arabs that are like from our country and stuff. It was the fact that we're getting like bombed from terrorists from the Middle East, and we're getting like we had huge problems with the cartels and stuff and MS-13 gangs and stuff from the Mexican community just coming in and being able
Mexicans are gangsters and rapists.
But it's not that they're all that. He was, I got her point where he's trying to say we're just trying to stop that kind of like, at least like tone it down, do what we can to kind of slow down their operations and stuff. Like, because it is true, it's coming from a lot of the terrorist stuff that happens comes from the Middle East, and then a lot of the Mexican cartel drug problems in America come from Mexico.
Yeah,
you know?
that's interesting. That's interesting because with the cartel part of it, so Lindsay and I were talking about it before, and one thing we were talking about was like, why wouldn't you want to like secure your border if you knew that there were people who were able to simply walk right across, right? Mm-hmm. I've heard a lot of different arguments. People say like, oh, you know, you can hop on a plane. You ever heard of that? And it's like, well, you kind of got to have a passport in order to hop on a plane. You can't just hop on a plane, right?
Yeah.
Maybe you smuggle people. Maybe you smuggle people in a private plane, but it's like people aren't doing that. Let's be realistic here. Or you say tunnels, sure, but what's going to prevent most of the people from coming over?
Yeah.
Just a border, some sort of like dividing. I guess you could call it a wall, but it doesn't have to be like theoretic. Like, you feel me?
And I get too that a lot of the people that are coming over there is a lot of good people coming over that are just trying to
escape.
Yeah.
There, and that's that. And see, that's always the thing too. Is it's like nobody is saying that we don't feel for those people, right? We're not saying that we don't want those people to escape and seek refuge and be able to like to do things that are gonna help them live better lives. But at the same time, you have to also do it the right way. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, because if not, you're committing an illegal act under our rules. Yeah, and the reason why that is based on the fact that, you know, as American citizens, we have certain rights, and the last thing we would want is for those rights to be taken away from us. So we need to fight. I was talking with Anthony the other day, like you have to fight for your freedom. Yeah. If you want to keep, if you want to keep it, you want to maintain it, right? Some people do that by going and serving in the military. They fight for their freedom. Some people do that by, you know, getting into politics. Some people do that by becoming a lawyer, whatever it is. But, you know, we kind of just forget about it, I think, because we're so used to it. We walk, you know, outside, go to the store, do whatever we do. But we don't really consider everything all the time. So, yeah. I don't know, man.
For sure.
I think kind of to bring it back to the election, it's you know, with Trump, people have this built up idea of who he is based on what we're hearing in the media, right? And sure, some of that stuff is undoubtedly true. But it's like, who doesn't have things in their past or even things that they believe currently that you don't agree with, but you still fuck with them? You and I don't agree on everything, but you still fuck with me? Right? And it's like, for us to not give somebody a chance just because we don't agree with some things, it's like, let's come to a common understanding.
I think the thing that's annoying to me a little bit about him, though, is the fact that he just won't, like, just say something about, like, what everybody's saying about you. Like, just say, like, I'm not racist. Like, he won't even like say something like that, you know. It's just like it's like just say I'm not racist. But I feel like he knows too, like he's playing, even though he might not be racist, you know, that he knows as well that a huge part of the country that's like gonna vote for him,
right,
like needs to like kind of believe that he is this way, you know.
So let me kick it to you like this. Okay, so you remember when I don't know if you remember or not, but George W. Bush, right? He had said like, we don't negotiate with terrorists, right? And so that was his stance. It's like, we don't negotiate with terrorists. Like, do what you have to do, and if we need to go to war for it, we'll go to war for it. But we fight for what we stand for, what we believe, right? And so then you get Barack in office next, and when Obama's in office, you got Trump as a citizen. I don't believe he's an American citizen. Show us your birth certificate, right? Goes on CNN, goes on all these news stations. Show us your birth certificate. Show us your birth certificate. Show us your birth certificate, right? What does Barack do?
Gives him his birth certificate.
So what does that say? What does that say about his character? Does that say that he's willing to negotiate? Or does that say like, yo, I stand by, I know what I am. I know I'm an American citizen. I don't need to prove anything to you. Right? So it's just like, what do you stand by? And I think that's something that we don't really consider is like, now everybody's telling Trump, like, just go out there and say you're not a racist. Go out there. Yo, I know I'm not a racist. Why do I need to go out there and say it? You feel me? I stand by what I believe, and I don't need to prove nothing to anybody. Right? I know I'm a good dad. I don't need to prove that to anybody. No matter how you see me treat my daughter in a moment in time doesn't make up for who I am as a parent to her, right? So I think that's one thing that we don't really consider, because we just take everything that's fed to us and then make our judgments off of that, as opposed to considering as much of it as we can. You know? What do you think about that, though? You think that's off point? That's valid, or
no? That's a valid point. I don't think he has to say. He doesn't have to say anything, but that's just where I kind of like am at with it. I don't feel like he has to say anything. Like, I don't. That's the thing I was telling you about, like, politics in general, is I don't really get into it. Like, I hear this, and I feel like I really don't give a fuck at the same time. So I'll be like, you know, when people want to talk about it, I'll talk
vote
about it. I haven't even registered, to be honest.
Right.
And I haven't had felt a sense of urgency to do so.
Right.
But
if you were to vote, who would you vote for?
That's the thing. I wouldn't know. See, I know that's one thing that I know too, is like, I know that I wouldn't vote for Trump, but I also don't know why I wouldn't vote for Trump. And
would you vote for Biden?
I don't know. That's the thing. I have no idea. That's why I don't even want to vote. Right. So, you know, like, I feel like if I vote for somebody and somebody asks me a question about why I did it, like, I'll be like, I don't know, because I'm supposed to vote. Or something, you know, like, and everybody else, I think a lot of the people who are voting right now are people who were just like me, but now everybody's pressuring them to vote just to try to get Trump out of office.
Sure.
And I'm still just like, I don't give a shit. I thought he was gonna from his mouth like he was gonna make us go to war with somebody. And I still think like that. He like is so outspoken with some things that these countries that we're like on edge with, like he says things about them where I'm like, oh fuck, like Russia's about to come and do this to us, China's about to come and do, North Korea's about to come and do this, like him like daring North Korea, I dare you to drop a nuke on us, like, or attempt to, or something. I'm like, why? Like, why are you doing right. this stuff? Like, I'm just trying to live, and you like, and he started that North Korea shit like almost like immediately of getting in the office. I was like, yo, how are we gonna make it through 4 years without getting into war? And now he's just like, I feel like he's like poking shit with China now with like illegally stopping trade because of the virus, and then like calling it the China virus and all this stuff, which like, yeah, it came from China, like I get it, but like you could tell he's like, it's like he's trying to push their fucking buttons and stuff like that. And I'm just like, and China's a powerful ass country, like that wouldn't be like an easy ass like war for us.
Yeah, you know? I think so our military is still superior.
I think our military is superior, but I don't think it's kind of like any NBA game. Like right. You're in a 7-game series, like we're gonna win that shit, right. But they might be able to do some damage in between. Well,
I'll tell you what, we're not doing ourselves any favors in terms of maintaining our superiority, in terms of military strength, in terms of, you know, our culture of, you know, allowing people to be free and whatnot. We're not going to be able to continue doing that if we can't talk.
Yeah.
If we can't even like maintain a conversation, you know, and it doesn't help at all when people aren't informed, when people aren't like constantly educating themselves. Look, let me go take a piss break real quick, and then we'll pick you right back up.
All right. You got gum?